everyone, and welcome back to Dimitra's Dishes. So today I'm going to teach you how to make Kreatopita. It's a Greek dish, also known as beef pie. It's delicious. This is my version. You can serve it as a main entree or as a side, kind of like a starter. It's completely up to you, but it's so flavorful and so easy to make. Of course, it uses my meat sauce recipe, and I was debating, should I link to it or should I show you? But since it's really like a two-step process, I thought we'll quickly go over it again. I used my meat sauce recipe for so many dishes on here, and I'll link them in the card section up below. You're definitely going to want to have this recipe on hand. The meat sauce freezes beautifully, so when you're making this, I highly recommend that you make a few extra batches, and you could put them in like little Tupperware, freezer-safe containers, and keep them in your freezer on hand to go to and throw them together with so many things like pasta or rice or just vegetables, and you'll have a meal ready to go in no time. We're going to go over the ingredients, and then we're going to get started. I'm using ground beef. This is 2 pounds. It's a double batch of my meat sauce recipe. You can use any ground meat that you have on hand or that you like. I'm using, again, lean ground beef today. I have mozzarella, feta cheese, an egg, and some water for the egg wash that's going to go on top. A can of crushed tomatoes that are unseasoned. Make sure you get them unseasoned because we're adding seasoning to it already. Some fresh parsley. I have dried oregano, red pepper flakes, black pepper, salt, and a sheet of already made puff pastry. I always have puff pastry in the freezer. It's my go-to thing whenever I'm in a hurry. The other day I was having guests over and I didn't have anything to serve with tea, and I quickly took it out and I made my palmiers recipe, which I'm also going to link to because it's delicious. But it's good to have on hand. If you wanted to, you can definitely use phyllo instead. It works perfectly either way. I'm using this today. So I do have this. In my pot, I have some onions, 2 onions, and some garlic cloves with oil that I've cooked over medium heat for about 15-20 minutes. They're really nice and soft and golden, and that's how you want them to be. And then I'm going to add my beef to this, my ground beef. It's really, really simple. Everything goes in together at once. Some salt. I never leave out the red pepper flakes. But if you don't like it spicy, leave them out. A little bit of black pepper. Some dried oregano. I'm just going to break up the meat and mix this all together. Now, traditionally, this is not made with a red sauce, but I love the way it tastes with the red sauce, especially with the addition of cheese. So I'm adding cheese to it, but you can also saute mushrooms and add them to here. Any frozen vegetable like frozen peas or the mixed frozen vegetables that they sell in the supermarket. There's like peas, corn, carrots, and string beans, I think. That's a good combination. That would work in here. Potatoes. But okay, so this is ready. I'll add my crushed tomatoes. And I'm going to add some water. I'll just fill this up with water. I'm going to cook this sauce until everything comes together, and then it's going to cook down for about 25 minutes until it's really nice and thick, and then it'll be ready to go. I'll show you what that looks like as soon as it's done. Okay, so I just chopped up my parsley. Let's check this. It's completely ready. You want it at this consistency where it's really nice and thick and not at all watery. And at this point you can taste it and see if it needs a little more seasoning. The best part of cooking, right? That's perfect for me. I'll just add the parsley, and I've turned off the heat. Just give it a nice mix. And then I'll put it to the side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 1 sheet of puff pastry that's going to be the bottom and the top. It's going to envelope it kind of like an envelope, and it'll be the bottom crust and it'll also be the top crust. And I roll it out to about 19.5 inches by 14.5, something like that. And it's easy to roll out once it's, thawed, definitely. That looks good to me. My oven is preheated to 375 degrees. So you want to make sure your oven is nice and hot before you're ready to put it in. And then I have over here a pie dish. This is about 10 inches, or you can use 9.5 to 10 inches wide. That'll be fine. And always keep a sheet pan underneath. I find it so much safer and easier to pull things in and out of the oven. Really, really minimizes your risk of, getting burned or dropping the dish, which has happened before and can happen. Now, it is a good idea to let this cool a bit, but it'll work when it's hot too. Put all of the filling inside the center of the pie dish. And that's good. I'll save this little bit that's left over. And then I'm just going to crumble in some feta cheese. And I have some shredded mozzarella. You can use Parmesan if you like, or whatever your favorite grated cheese is. Just go ahead and use that. That's good. And then we're just going to fold it all over. And then I have an egg with a little bit of water. Just brush it on top. It's going to create a beautiful golden color. A little bit of salt. Tiny bit of pepper. And a little sprinkle of oregano. This is going to go in the oven and it's going to bake for about an hour until it's really nice and puffy and golden all around. And you want to make sure that all of the layers that are folded are perfectly cooked. If you can take it out after 45 minutes and take a look at it, you want the layers that are underneath to puff up also, that you folded and cook. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's ready, but it's going to take about an hour or so. All right, so my beef pie took an hour to bake in the oven, and this is exactly what you're looking for. You want it to be really puffy all around, so that way all the folds and the layers cook all the way through, so you get a nice, crisp, flaky crust on the top, and so it's really, really yummy. Now, another thing that's important, once it comes out of the oven, you want to let it cool a little bit. Let it sit for about 40 minutes or so before you cut into it, so that way it's easier to take out slices. Now, I love to serve this with some tzatziki sauce on the side. I don't have any right now, but I do have a recipe that I'll link to up in the card section. So make sure you look for it. Tzatziki tastes wonderful with this. You could serve this with a nice side salad or even with some hot sauce if you want it a little bit spicy. But let me get a fabulous slice out of here. Look at that. I need to fish out the rest, but this is just the top actually. So if you let it sit a little bit longer, you'll be able to take out a much cleaner slice than this, but it tastes delicious and that's all that matters to me right now. Let me have a taste. Look at the cheese inside. This is so good. Crispy, flaky, puff pastry with a really flavorful meat sauce. That soft, gooey feta and mozzarella cheese, it really seals the deal. One really good thing that you can do is you can make a few, maybe 1 or 2 batches of this before you bake it. You can keep it in your freezer and just pop it out and bake it. The baking time will definitely increase by about 20 to 30 minutes, but it's something that you can do if you want to have like food prep for whenever you don't have time to cook. The recipe will always be in the description box, takes you right to the website. www.dimitrasdishes.com. This recipe's on there, many, many more. What do you want to learn how to make next? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thumbs up, like, subscribe, you know, all that good stuff. Share pictures with me. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.